Submissions are now open for Film Pulse Selects 2018. Go to filmpulseselects.com to enter your feature or short to be included in this celebration of all things indie. Hello and welcome to the Film Pulse podcast. This is episode number 272. My name is Adam Patterson. Today I'm joined by Kevin Rakestraw. How are you, Kevin?
Pretty good.
Good. Good to hear that. I'm really glad.
Wonderful.
This week on the show, we have 3 reviews lined up for you with Mr. Roosevelt from Noel Wells. We have Bob Bington's Infinity Baby. And we have Tormenting the Hen from director Theodore Collatos. We'll also be going over some we're watching on the watch list, new releases in theaters, on VOD, and on Blu-ray. Let's dive right into it, shall we?
Okay.
I don't have a specific order in mind. I was thinking we could do Roosevelt and Infinity Baby together because you have the Noel Wells thread there.
Mm-hmm.
Little connection. She's in both of them, and she wrote and directed Mr. Roosevelt. So maybe we should start with Mr. Roosevelt.
Let's do it.
So this is playing in LA right now. I have a synopsis here. After a loved one falls ill, struggling comedian Emily Martin returns to her college town of Austin, Texas, and must come to terms with her past while staying with her ex-boyfriend and his new girlfriend.
That's not a good idea.
No, it is not a good idea.
That's not going to work out, I don't think.
So this is a bit of a romantic comedy of sorts. It plays a lot like sort of the indie version of romantic comedy that we've been getting lately, that I've actually been enjoying for the most part. I think is it Obvious Child?
Mm-hmm.
That comes to mind, where you have this sort of I don't want to say quirky because there's like a whole conversation about it in the movie about when people refer to women as quirky.
It's just essentially it's the same thing that you see. It's the same thing that you see in a lot of movies, indie movies, where it's just the whole arrested development, like not growing up type thing, trying to navigate the adult world.
So I thought this movie was okay. I really don't have a lot to say about it. I didn't hate it, didn't love it. There were a couple of funny moments. Oddly, none come to mind right now. Like, I remember laughing a couple times, but for the life of me, I can't remember what those moments were. I think maybe it starts off really strong. The audition that she's in, where she's doing like the rapid fire impressions, I thought that was really good and really funny. Holly Hunter at a yard sale.
She does do a great Holly Hunter, which to me was probably like the funniest part of the movie. So, you kind of peak about 5 minutes in.
Yeah, so to go back to the plot a little bit, from reading the synopsis and seeing the trailer, it seems like they're trying to keep a lid on who Mr. Roosevelt is. So I'm not sure why, but so we'll keep that a secret. But
okay.
at any rate, she does end up back in Austin and staying with her ex-boyfriend, played by Nick Thune? Nick Thune? Or is the H
guess.
silent?
I don't know. All I know is that I'm not a big fan of him.
I like him. He has a stand-up special on Netflix that's pretty funny.
I actually can't stand him.
Okay.
It just irritates me. He's so fake. The 2 movies that I've seen, it's not working. Like, I can tell that you're trying really, really hard at acting. And it's really distracting.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much ruins the experience.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say, I mean, Mr. Roosevelt isn't that strong to begin with, unfortunately, but he definitely doesn't do it any favors.
I think that just might be his acting style. Because
Yeah, which is
if you see his stand up special, he has sort of the same delivery and cadence. So I think that just might be kind of his style.
to me, it's really fake. It's just an overabundance of fakeness. Is what I'm getting.
I'm okay with it. I'm
It
okay with it.
irritates me. No, and I'm not okay with that. It irritates me.
So she's trying to deal with this loss of a loved one. She's trying to deal with the fact that she dumped this guy, and now she's in this odd circumstance where she's back in his home, staying with him and his new girlfriend. His new girlfriend is seemingly perfect. She's just this really great person. So she starts to get jealous of that. She's grieving. She's caught in a crossroads in her life. She's that has no prospects. She has no. Her career's not going anywhere. She's trying to be an actor, I guess, but she's not really succeeding at it. She's doing auditions. She's taking some editing jobs on the side, and she's just sort of she's on the verge of a nervous breakdown here. She's losing it. She ends up meeting this waitress and befriending her. And that was one of the other scenes that I thought was pretty funny when they went down to swim. When the scene when they all started taking their tops off and just the fear that she had in that moment, I thought that was funny.
I thought it was. I didn't think it was really funny, but I thought it was like the editing of that and everything. I thought was interesting.
The slow motion and
Yeah, with the
the music building and yeah.
and her just being absolutely terrified. I mean, what was the other one? Oh, for me was the bike montage where she gets her old bike out and she's riding around,
Yeah, and
happy
then,
music, and she's waving to everyone, and then you finally hit that, where you have to go uphill, and just her muttering as she's doing that. That got a chuckle out of me.
yeah, that was a good cut. She's having a good time, and then they just cut to her struggling to get up a hill.
Yeah, because riding a bike up a hill is a fucking pain in the ass,
Sure, yeah, it's a workout.
especially with one of those bikes.
Yeah, the old like beach cruiser style.
Yeah, they're not made for that. They're made for cruising, loving
Yeah.
life.
Mm-hmm. Shot on film.
It's just, yeah, for whatever reason, I don't
So
didn't really need to be.
yeah, I mean,
I don't think that was really utilized to any certain extent. It
no,
was
I
just,
mean,
at any point in time that you were like, damn, good choice shooting on film. This looks great.
it looks better than if it were to
Yeah.
be shot on digital.
Yeah.
But they don't
But
really do anything crazy with the cinematography or anything like that.
no, it's pretty straightforward. It's not, there's just not a whole lot here in this movie.
Nope.
It's just kind of inoffensive. It just goes along for an hour and a half, doing a lot of stuff that you've seen before, a lot of familiar themes and beats. And then it's over. And then you just go about your day and you absolutely forget it about 20 minutes later.
Yeah, I mean,
Unfortunately.
I thought it was a good script. It just there wasn't anything. There wasn't really much there as far as the narrative. Like you said, it's really nothing that we haven't seen before. I enjoyed my time with it. I like Noel Wells. I thought she was funny, and I thought some of the extra side characters were funny too. You have Doug Benson in there, in a small scene, and he's pretty funny. But it was like, it's just a light, breezy movie that just kind of swings by and says hello and then moves on, and we all move on.
Pretty much, pretty much. I mean, the main thing for me, which again, kind of got the expectations up a little bit, was I thought the opening credits were probably like some of the best that I've seen this year.
Mm-hmm.
I love the opening credits, and then you get straight into her doing her rapid fire impressions, and that Holly Hunter is pretty incredible. And then everything from there is just downhill, coasting.
Felt the opening credits to me felt very 90s. They had a 90s vibe.
Yeah. It was just like it kind of set up this like, oh, okay, it's gonna be lighthearted, it's gonna be fun, it's gonna be enjoyable. Looks like it's got some creativity here, but I never really saw that. I didn't really see too much creativity.
No, I think one thing that may set this apart from something like Obvious Child is that the I thought the Noel Wells character was far more unlikable in this than, let's say, Jenny Slate's character in Obvious Child. I just didn't think. I just didn't really. It wasn't that she was inherently unlikable, but I just felt like she was not that interesting of a character.
Yeah.
I didn't feel that sorry for her. She didn't. I mean, she broke up with this guy via text message to run off to LA. So it's not like I felt that much empathy for her, I guess.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, like we kind of said from the outset, it's not a good idea. Like you don't. She hates the new girlfriend, so why are you gonna stay there?
Well, I think one of the reasons was she didn't have any money. She pretty much spent all her money on the plane ticket to get to Austin. She didn't even have enough to get back, I don't think.
Yeah, but I mean, they get her that. Whatever, it doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. It's just, it's just there's just not that much, of interest in here. Like kind of reiterate, a lot of familiar stuff.
Yeah, I will completely agree with that.
At this point in time, you're just kind of like, oh, okay, this is like movie number 60, 70, like this. It doesn't do a lot of good for the American indie, which is already kind of like stereotyped into this type of thing, and then to have this come out on the tails of like another 50 movies like this, it doesn't help the term American indie cinema or whatever you want to call it. I don't think it helps the image.
Harsh words. Killing the American indie. Mr. Roosevelt.
It's one of those, again, where this is the problem with American indies, that I should say American indies that get picked up for distribution, is they always pick up the safe ones. And guess what? Most of the safe ones are like this. So they end up becoming this, like homogenized product of just, they're all kind of the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Especially with the comedies specifically.
Mm-hmm. Where it's just like this kind of awkwardness. And it's, these people that haven't grown up, or kind of making fun of the people that are grown up. It's just,
And it's funny because there's been, I mean, there's a ton of movies like this, and they've been doing it for years and years now. I don't know if was like the spawn of mumblecore that resulted in this, or
yeah,
what.
which it does kind of seem like they took mumblecore and then just like gussied it up and refined it, and made it more, I guess, sellable.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I was thinking of recently. I was thinking about Fort Tilden, and I feel like a movie like Fort Tilden is sort of that missing link between something that's mumblecore and something that's like Mr. Roosevelt, where it's more accessible than an early Swanberg movie or something, but at the same time, it's not as inoffensive and cutesy as something like Mr. Roosevelt.
Yeah.
It sits right there in the middle, which The Search Party comes back tonight, and I'm pretty excited about that.
That's all that was about. That's the only reason you brought it up.
Well, that's why I was thinking about. That's why I was thinking about Fort Tilden.
I gotcha. Okay.
At any rate,
process.
At any rate, that's Mr. Roosevelt.
That's a bummer.
Yeah. What are you gonna give this thing?
I give it like a 4.5, 5.
I'm gonna go with a 5.5 on this one.
All right.
It's just to me, it's just like slightly above average. I mean, it definitely gets bonus points for being shot on film, but other than that, I did like some of the music in it as well. The leaks.
Yeah,
and there were a couple moments of joy and laughter that I gleamed from it. So
okay,
it wasn't a complete loss. Again, Mr. Roosevelt is playing in LA right now, and it will be opening wider on the 22nd. I don't know if it's getting a VOD release on the 22nd or what, but
it seems tailor-made for VOD.
Oh yeah, definitely does. Let's move on and talk about Infinity Baby. So this is directed by Bob Bington, written by Owner Tuchel. So, big fan of his stuff on the show. I have a synopsis here. A comedy about babies that don't age.
There you go. Short, to the point.
Would it be babies that don't age or babies who don't age?
I don't think it matters.
All right, what you think of Infinity Baby?
Man. Now this is my type of runtime. I like this. It gets in there, does its thing, and it's over. It's pretty. I think what it's dealing with is a bit too simplistic, especially like what ends up transpiring towards the end, where how the there's kind of like a twist where something changes. There's this big change, which just seems really simplistic on two ends with the babies and with Kieran Culkin's character. Where it just kind of comes down to like one interaction, this very simple interaction that I'm to believe that no one has tried at any point in time. With the babies. So, but then again, it's got that short runtime. I thought the writing was pretty great. I thought for me, the most part, it was pretty funny. I thought the acting was pretty great throughout. Pretty much everyone. I don't think there was really a weak link in this movie. The only thing that, like I said, kind of simplistic with the storyline there, and like some of the themes and everything, and then I was actually surprised, like the Aesop Rock soundtrack, to me, just didn't really fit.
Yeah, I would somewhat agree there. I think a few of the tracks worked, and some of them didn't work. I mean, he's, I think, fairly new to this whole scoring thing. He did Bushwick, which I thought was far more effective than in this movie. Like you said, the cast I thought was strong performances across the board. We got Megan Mullally, Nick Offerman, Martin Starr, Kieran Culkin, Stephen Root. A lot of great people. Noel Wells, Kevin Corrigan, Jennifer Prediger's in there. Lots of great people. So for me, there were several moments of that really worked for me. Some of the things didn't. So basically, it's a very light sci-fi comedy, shot in black and white, about these babies that don't age, so they remain babies forever. And there's a company that, do they sell them, or they don't sell them? They sort of rent them out.
Yeah, they're just looking for homes for them.
So here's what I don't understand. You go and you get a baby, and you get $20,000 for taking in this baby. How does Infinity Baby make money?
Yeah. Mm.
We don't know the answer to that.
Did they discuss that? I
No,
don't know if they discussed that.
no. But that's why I'm wondering. Now they said that they are a subsidiary of this other company, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe the Infinity Baby, maybe it doesn't make money. Maybe it's just like a non-profit thing.
Yeah, they're just kind of they're overloaded with these babies that don't age. They got to do something with them.
Yeah.
So you have this, subsidiary that you create to just find homes for them. And for whatever reason, the only people they have to do this, or at least what we see, is Kevin Corrigan and Martin Starr, which it
Yes.
seems like you should hire better people to find homes for these babies.
Yeah, they're complete buffoons. Complete and utter buffoons.
They truly are. I just remembered that one of them gets blinded.
In one of there's a lot of weird just weird random sequences and conversations that happen in this. It is a bit of an absurdist film. Some of it worked for me, some of it didn't. The Kieran Culkin stuff didn't really work for me. Like, I didn't, anytime they would cut back to his story, I didn't really care about it too much.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get back to the other stuff. Although I thought he was funny, especially his interactions with Nick Offerman, like when they went back to handle there's a situation that occurs with one of the babies when they go to handle it. But yeah, I thought it was overall pretty funny. Looked pretty good, but I wanted more. I felt like there's just not quite enough here.
Well, and I mean, we talk about what the runtime's like an hour and 10 minutes, right? It's a pretty quick, brisk runtime there, right? But even then, they do the old, they show some clips at the beginning, which are kind of like out of order, and you're not 100% sure like how they fit in, what's the context, all of that, and then they're kind of we come back to them later on in the movie, where they actually like they get slotted in chronologically, where you're like, oh, okay, this is the scene that I saw earlier, and okay, this is when it happened, which just it felt like padding, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you didn't have to do that at the beginning, like it didn't add anything, especially like Kieran Culkin when he meets with Martha Kelly, like when they're because you're not 100% sure what that is, if that's a date or if she's like maybe
a buyer.
Like an applicant for one of these Infinity Babies. Like you have no idea what this is, and then when it gets slotted in chronologically, you're just like, well, there was like you didn't have to do that. That made no sense. Like, you were just padding the runtime here, I guess, to get it to like feature length.
Yeah, I guess. I'm not sure. Yeah, that's.
I don't think movies that are under like 60 minutes actually, they don't really sell.
No, not really. Shout outs to Martha Kelly, though. I was glad to see her in this. She's so funny, dude. I want her in everything.
There's a lot of good people in this, and they all do solid work.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what I mean. Like as little chunks of themselves, just like these little scenes, like Kevin Corrigan and Martin Starr going to Jennifer Prediger's house with the Infinity Baby, like everything in that section. That's a solid short film right there.
Yeah, it almost feels like it's a series of sketches. It almost feels like it's interconnected sketches.
Yeah, it's just it doesn't seem to have something that just kind of like brings it all together.
Right. Yeah. Agreed.
So because my headphones cut out. So what were your thoughts on the Aesop Rock score there?
So I said that some of it I liked, some of it I thought felt a little out of place, but I said that he's new to the whole scoring a film thing, and
the other thing that kind of interests me because it was like original score. but a lot of it is like recycled beats from like None Shall Pass and stuff. Where it's
Yeah.
like, man, that's okay. We're just doing the instrumental
It sounded a
versions,
little different though. It sounded like
yeah,
he tweaked it a little bit, like the pitch was different.
which is weird because I'm pretty sure the None Shall Pass beat is Blockhead and not Aesop Rock. But I guess at that time, I guess at that point he bought that beat, so I guess it's his. I don't know how it
Yeah, I don't know.
works.
I don't know how that works. I don't know how the specifics of that work.
It's just I don't know how it works for people that might not know Aesop Rock or be like really into his music. But for me to hear like the opening beat of None Shall Pass, I'm just waiting for him to come in. Like, yeah, I love this song. I want to hear it.
Yeah.
Like, when's he going to start rapping? And I just like, I don't care about the movie anymore. I'm just like, yeah, I want to hear this Aesop Rock song. Hell yeah.
It's like when you accidentally put on the instrumental version of an album instead of the regular version. You're like, okay, here we, nope, okay, here come, nope, okay, and you just think that the lyrics are gonna drop, and they never do.
No.
Yeah,
That
I thought
happened
it
to
was
me a
fine.
couple times.
I liked his work in Bushwick was really good too. So I think that
Because I,
with Bushwick, it was really he did a few songs. I don't know how many he did in total, but they reused the same song like 5 or 6 times.
okay.
So
Because I,
that was very slight as well.
because I did really like the beat, like right at the beginning, when he doing like the opening credits for Infinity Baby.
Hmm.
That beat, I was like, hell yeah, this Aesop Rock score is gonna be awesome.
I mean, I hope he continues doing music for scores for movies because I think it's definitely unique. Like it's something you notice,
Oh yeah,
and I like that.
yeah, because I don't think you can really point out to a lot of other people doing scores and be like, yeah, they sound like Aesop Rock.
Yeah.
I don't know, that doesn't.
Oh, just film scores in general. I feel like they've gotten so run of the mill. Like not like most movies when I watch them, I don't even notice
Yeah,
the score.
which can be a good thing though too, because sometimes when you notice it, it's not for the right reasons.
Yeah, I mean, one movie comes to mind, Neil Marshall's Doomsday. I liked that movie a lot, but when I saw it in the theater. I noticed that the score was, I don't know if it was just not mixed properly or maybe it was just in the theater. No, because I'm pretty sure I saw it again at home and I had the same issue where the score felt like it was so constant and loud and distracting that
Mm,
it like actually detracted from the experience for me.
gotcha. Yeah, I hate when that happens. I'm not a fan of that.
Either way, Infinity Baby was it was okay for me. It was fine. Maybe just wanted a little bit of a tighter narrative in there. There just wasn't enough for me to be like able to give it a high recommendation.
Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you.
All right, Infinity Baby. I will give that a. I'm gonna give it a 6.
I give it about a 6 too.
All right. This one is available now on YouTube and iTunes and I think Google Play. So your VOD platform of choice. No marketing behind this one. We talked about this off the air earlier in the week when we were deciding to give this a look. I didn't even know that this movie existed until I saw a tweet from I think Jennifer Prediger.
Yeah, I think so. I think I
It
was pretty much the same way. It was either Prediger or Nick Offerman.
it was just
I
weird that
saw.
this movie just popped up out of nowhere. I mean, I know it played a few festivals, but I literally had no idea that it existed at all, which is very strange because
It's even though I'm at like a 6, it's still probably like a decent. were, kind of worth a look, because there are some spots in there that are pretty funny.
Oh yeah, it
I
definitely.
don't think I would prioritize.
Yeah, I mean, like Mr. Roosevelt, there were some laughs to be had, some hearty chuckles on my part. But
Gotta get them chuckles.
oh yeah, there were some chortles, some chuckles. It was a decent time.
There you go.
Let's talk about our final film of the episode here with Tormenting the Hen. This is written and directed by Theodore Collatos. I have a synopsis here: a feature film tumult of social malaise and toxic love. You reviewed this one on the site a long time ago.
Correct. Back when I was playing the old festivals.
So this is playing the 16th through the 22nd at the Spectacle Theater in New York. So you can go check it out there now, and I would recommend checking it out in a theater environment if you can, because I quite liked this one. I didn't think I was going to, honestly. Now
I was actually really curious as to how this one was going to go, because I was thinking, I was like, he could be really into this one, or he could just not be feeling it at all.
Yeah. So I love thrillers, but psychological thrillers rarely do it for me. Like I'm trying to think of some recent ones. Maybe Queen of Earth was one that just it really didn't work for me. Like I just was not into it. I'm not a big fan of the slow descent into madness subgenre. If that, I'm gonna make it one if it's not. But this one, and I was worried that that's where this was going to go. I would argue that that's not really what happens here. It seems like that's the way it's going to go, but I feel like it doesn't really go there. It's more of a suspense thriller than anything else, where you have these conversations between the characters, and at any moment you feel like this could be the breaking point for this character. So you have this couple, they go to the Berkshires to perform a play, right? One of the characters, Claire, she's directing a play that she also wrote. And they're kind of vacationing there too. So like her girlfriend Monica goes there with her to spend the time there while she works on it. And they're staying in this nice house, and there's a caretaker, groundskeeper there, who I believe he has Asperger's. They say that there's a scene where an officer says that, although I'm not sure if he's just projecting that, or if it's like he was actually diagnosed with that and that's a known fact.
Yeah.
I mean, it certainly seems like he's on the spectrum. It's this guy named...
He's definitely had, his social interactions, his social skills they're definitely lacking.
Severely lacking. So this guy's name's Muddy. And as they spend more time there are these sort of these arguments, this sort of tension that starts to build, where Monica wants to get married and start a family, and it seems like Claire's not quite ready. She's not quite there yet with it. But then Claire's under a lot of stress from the play that she's working on, and then we have Muddy, who seems to want to insert himself into their relationship, and he just seems to cross some boundaries here and there. He's like incessantly mowing, always mowing, and I feel
hours.
And I feel like that's an added stressor, because I was thinking, like, I would lose my mind if somebody outside was just mowing all day every day.
Oh yeah,
I would completely lose it.
Yeah, no, to hear that constant hum when you're trying to relax, like especially like when they're like sitting outside trying to have a conversation and just like enjoy the sun and the beautiful day and everything, and you got this guy like passing on a John Deere, just like every minute, just comes past and then comes past again and it comes past again, and he's been mowing for like 8 hours. He just keeps mowing.
Yeah. Forever mowing is Muddy's motto.
Well, like you said, where he's crossing boundaries and you're never quite sure what's going on with Muddy. So you're never 100% sure if he's doing this like on purpose, is this intentional? Because a lot of this stuff kind of comes off as, can be perceived as like threatening behavior.
Yeah.
But you're also just not 100% sure if like perhaps you're just overreacting to what he's doing because he lacks the social skills, that he doesn't realize how he's coming across, and he's just looking for company, really.
Yeah,
and it's just all this tension from that from everything else.
Yeah, and in one moment you feel like he's trying to be a good person, trying to be hospitable, have them over for dinner and drinks and stuff, but then there's like certain things that he'll say. Like there was a particularly tense moment where he made up this story about being in Desert Shield or Desert Storm.
Oh, I love the way he shot that too.
Yeah,
it's just that like suffocating close up, and it's just spinning around and around.
Well, that's how a lot of the film is shot, is like extreme close ups, like a lot of really extreme handheld close ups on the characters, lots of in your face types of shots, and you have this kind of claustrophobic smothering feel to it, and I like that a lot. Actually, I thought that really worked and helped support the kind of the overall theme of this film.
Yeah, exactly. I think it really does. The visual storytelling really lends itself well to the narrative that it is telling.
So to that, I think the movie looked great. Thought performances across the board were really solid. Yeah, everybody, like Matthew Shaw as Muddy did a pretty fantastic job. Quite an enigma, that character. You can never really pin him down, and I liked that about that character.
Yeah, it just seemed like everyone's just on edge. Just in any conversation, that whether it's Monica having interaction with Muddy, or Claire and Monica, or Claire when she's working on her, when they're rehearsing the play and everything, it seems like they're just waiting to attack each other.
Yeah.
Just they hear what they want to hear, and then they go off of that.
They all just need to chill out.
They just gotta relax.
Yeah.
What they need to do, see, and I think this is where Muddy comes in. You just gotta get out there on that John Deere. Just gotta move for a little bit. Be alone with your thoughts. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not for 8 hours, but because you don't need to put that kind of stress on the grass, but
right.
Just get out there and mow a little bit.
Some therapeutic mowing.
Yeah, I did it today. November 19th, still mowing.
Was it therapeutic? Were you able to take some time to yourself and contemplate?
It was a goddamn nightmare. It's like 50 mile per hour winds out today.
I would think that the mowing season would be over soon, wouldn't it?
Oh, it should be. It should be. Yeah, but not anymore. Because there's no such thing as like regional climates anymore. It's just a goddamn nightmare. It's just a clusterfuck of jet streams and whatnot. It's awful.
Arctic, whatever. We had some sort of Arctic gust or whatever you call it the other week, where it was like one day it was like in the 70s and the next day it's in the 20s.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
Well, this is a glimpse into our future.
That's true. That is true.
So overall, I like the movie quite a lot, actually. Thought it was really
I'm
effective.
glad. I'm
It
glad.
had a real tight runtime on this one too.
Another one. Yeah.
Hour and 17 minutes, according to IMDb. Yep. Got in, got out. No bloat. No, I wasn't left wanting more. I thought it was just cut perfectly for me.
Yeah. Same here. I wasn't really, like you said, I wasn't, not that didn't necessarily want more, but it didn't feel incomplete to me. You know,
Yeah.
that it's like everything was handled as it should. And just like you said, get in, get out. See, and it's just another example that you don't need 2 hours and 10 minutes. Just tell your goddamn story.
Yeah, I completely agree. One, not criticism, but just one thing about this. I didn't like the character of Monica. She annoyed me. I don't know, maybe she was supposed to be annoying.
I think that's
yeah, I think that was the
kind
intent.
of the point. Yeah, I mean, she's kind of left alone, and anytime she wants to kind of discuss their relationship, she just gets shot down, and then she's got to deal with Muddy all day when no one's around.
Yeah,
And then when every time she tries to bring up Muddy, it's just like, no, he's fine, he's harmless, and it's like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to jump the gun and be like, this guy is dangerous, but at the same time, you know, you got to keep an eye out on this guy.
a little concern. There's some concern there.
Yeah.
Like he has keys to your house. Like he can get into your house.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like she has legitimate concerns that people are not listening to her. Like if someone just waltzed into my house, fuck that. I'm buying a deadbolt.
Yeah,
Padlocks.
That being said, I feel like she overreacts a lot, but I feel like everybody in this is like a series of overreactions.
I guess a little. I don't know. I don't think she did overreact. Not the way I see it.
When she gets up and breaks the glass and flips over the
Yeah, I mean, she did
grill.
have that one.
I'd call that an outburst. I'd call that an overreaction. Because they're having just a cordial convo, you know? Just hanging out, having some friends over, some actors.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'd say
And Muddy wasn't doing anything particularly egregious.
Well, I think, yeah, see, that's the problem, is it kind of gets taken out on Muddy in that situation where it's more of the Joel and her girlfriend Claire kind of like flirting with each other.
Yeah.
Kind of sets out, and then she takes it out on Muddy.
Poor Muddy. So misunderstood.
Well, some of that stuff you shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't think he knows any better.
Well, and it's like, you think he's like, okay, he just wants company. He's a decent guy. And then he kind of goes off on like the Brazil stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, okay. Maybe not.
Yep.
I think that's kind of the thing, is where you're constantly like reassessing what your thoughts are, or at least I was, of Muddy.
Yeah, I was, definitely. Yeah. Because at first I was like, oh, he's a creep. And then you're like, oh, okay, he just doesn't have any kind of filter or anything. Like, he has no inner dialogue. And then he does some other stuff, and you're just like, all right, he's crossing the line here.
Yeah. And then it kind of goes back the other way, and then you're like, oh, okay, well, he's kind of racist, like, okay. And then that really, really tense story that I think would have been, for me, that would have been like, nah, like that's a lot of work to come up with a story like that.
Mm-hmm. And
for that to be the story that you create, I don't know. I think I would be cutting off communication there.
Yeah, probably. Either way, this is a really interesting film. I would definitely recommend checking it out. It wasn't at all what I expected. For some reason, I thought it was going to be way more in the kind of surreal, experimental vibe than what it was. It does go to some sort of experimental places, but I thought that all of those elements were done really well. And all of those sort of small, call them like nightmare sequences, all that stuff really worked for me as well.
Yeah. I agree.
So that's called Tormenting the Hen. That is again playing right now in New York at the Spectacle Theater. Definitely check it out if you can. It is playing for a couple more days before ending its run. Hopefully it will be out on VOD or available for streaming at some point.
I would hope so.
Hey, if you're listening, Teddy, you could maybe submit it for Film Pulse Selects. Because I can tell you right now, we would definitely accept it.
Now, is that like a conflict of interest type deal? Where you like you already, or can you do that? I don't know. I
don't think it's a conflict of interest.
I don't know. Like you see the movies that are already getting like festival runs and stuff, and you just solicit them. Like, hey,
I can almost guarantee you that there are other film festivals that try to seek out other movies that were at festivals and get them to screen at theirs.
That's true.
I would say almost every single movie at TIFF is like that, or AFI Fest is another example. Like, I guarantee they solicit.
No, that's true.
Like crazy.
Yeah. Especially the ones that are just kind of like the greatest hits of all the other festivals.
Yep. Exactly. Again, that's called Tormenting the Hen. Let's move on. Talk about someone we're watching on the watch list. Kevin, I think we'll start with you this week.
I only have one, and that's A Woman, a Part. So see, this is actually available on Netflix Instant. Trying to like pick out some 2017s, kind of get caught up. So this is directed by Elizabeth Subrin. Maggie Siff plays she's kind of like this, she's a TV actress where she's kind of in this role where she's not really happy. She kind of feels like she's sold out because she's in this like big time TV role, and she's not really happy with her part anymore. She feels like it's kind of just this like caricature. She wants a a little more complicated female to play, and that's not really happening. So she kind of takes a break. She's given like a week. So she goes back to New York with her old, and kind of like seeks out her old theater friends. And they have a whole complicated history. All right. So she's trying to navigate that, trying to like get back in their lives. And there's a lot of resentments and all the typical stuff that happens there. Overall, worth a look. It felt a little bit familiar, some of the stuff, a lot of familiar themes, and for the most part you kind of know how it's going to go, how it's going to play out, what's going to happen from one scene to the next, really. But the performances are great, and the actual execution of it I thought was pretty fantastic. So even though it is kind of familiar, still everything that goes into it, I thought it was pretty remarkable. So it's kind of like a light recommend on there.
Okay, and that's A Woman Apart.
Correct.
Not A Woman Apart, but
no,
a woman, comma, a part.
Space, part.
Got it. So
it's an unfortunate title.
Yeah. I saw Thelma.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, so this is directed by Joachim Trier. I probably just butchered his name. That just sounds so wrong. Anyway, it's the guy that did Oslo, August 31st. So this is sort of a thriller, sort of a horror movie in a little bit of a way, I would say. It's about a girl who goes to university, and she, after after arriving there, she sort of has this seizure. And when she has this seizure, it causes all of these birds to suddenly fly into the window of the library where she had this seizure. And she has all these tests and MRIs and whatnot, and they can't really find anything wrong with her, but they think maybe she could have epilepsy, so they want to do more tests. And as they're sort of trying to figure out what's going on with her, she has more of these episodes, and they become more pronounced, and she starts to have like kind of strange visions during these episodes. And it takes sort of a supernatural turn, but one of the interesting things about it is that after she arrives at college, she meets this other girl, and they sort of develop a relationship of sorts. She sort of falls for this girl, and the problem is she comes from a very hyper religious, hyper Christian family, and they would not be okay with it at all. So she's very nervous about that. And it turns out that it's in the opening scene of the film, she and her dad are out hunting in the woods, and they show the father who, instead of killing this deer that's in front of them, he points the gun at her. She doesn't see it because he's behind her, but he almost shoots his own daughter, and you're like, what's that all about? So the whole time you're kind of wondering, like, all right, there's something up here. The parents know something's going on, and it all eventually comes out that that she indeed does have something very wrong with her. Very interesting. The visuals in this are stellar. There's one scene. I'm really not going to give away anything. I've been sort of speaking as vaguely as possible because I think that this is a movie that you sort of need to witness for yourself to fully appreciate it. Because I went into it almost completely cold. I did see a trailer, but that was it. There's one scene in particular that takes place on a lake. I'll say that. And the visuals are so freaking cool in how they do this. Like the special effects work is really good. I really, really liked this movie. This was a big surprise for me. We have a review for this up on the site. I think Chris reviewed it for us. He gave it a very high score. I can't remember. I think he might have given it like a 9.
He gave it a 9.
Yeah. He loved it. It's like his number 1 movie of the year, I think, right now, as of right now. So I would say he definitely seek this one out. It is on VOD, I believe, right now. It's called Thelma. And it is absolutely worth a look. Very interesting. And I think you would probably like it, Kevin.
Okay. All right.
I saw Justice League.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Have you read or have seen anything about the whole mustache thing? Henry Cavill and the mustache.
I saw once, like a couple here and there, but I never like saw a picture. I was just like, wonder what that's all about. And then finally, like a couple days later, I saw like actual like visual evidence of what was being discussed, and it made so much more sense to me. Because at first I'm just like, oh, big deal, like they cut out his mustache, whatever.
Yeah,
like they should be able to do, because they can, like, they can age people and stuff digitally. They should be able to get rid of a mustache. That shouldn't be that difficult.
Well, evidently it cost millions of dollars to do this, and it looks so bad. I like the opening scene. So the movie starts off with like cell phone footage of Superman doing something, and first of all, it is not needed for the story whatsoever. It adds literally nothing to the narrative. It's like a 3-minute cell phone video that has nothing to do with the rest of the movie. It's completely pointless. And in that scene, which is the opening scene of the film, you have this weird close-up of Superman where his face is very clearly animated, but just his mouth. And you're like, what the fuck? And then there are several moments throughout the film where, again, he is seen with Superman and his mouth looks animated. Not all of them, just some of them, like maybe 3 or 4 sequences. And you're just like, what the fuck is going on here? And it looks so bad. I don't understand why they thought it was a good idea to do that. Like, just, oh my God. I feel like there could have been a better way. Just have him have the mustache, for Christ's sakes. Just give him the... I think it'd be better if they CG'd a mustache onto him for the stuff that they had previously shot. And that probably would have looked better than trying to remove the mustache. Because it is so bad. But
I do like the idea of him having a mustache in some scenes and then not in other scenes, and just like not even address it.
I know. That's what I was thinking. I think it'd be so funny if they just left it in. Like, he gets resurrected and he just has a mustache when he gets resurrected. Because they say that even after you die, your hair grows a little bit, right? Yeah. So
yeah, how's he gonna shave? He's dead. He can't shave his face.
Anyway,
so he's got a mustache. Big deal. Superman.
Anyway, it's not just the mustache face that looks bad in this. All of the CG. This movie's, I would say that this could qualify as an animated movie. There's so much CG in it.
Well, that's what I didn't understand from seeing the trailer for this. Now, I'm not a huge fan of a lot of these superhero movies now, but the trailer for this was just like, wow, why would anyone want this? Like, it's dark as can be. It's just like black, like there's no color in the movie at all. It just looks, like you said, it looks animated. Yeah. It doesn't even look like a goddamn movie. Like, what the hell's the point here?
Yeah. So almost everything is CG. Things that very clearly don't need to be CG, like the character of Cyborg, he's almost entirely CG, and I'm pretty sure that they made his face CG in a lot of scenes, which was completely unnecessary because he has just a regular human face, but he just has like part of his face is like metal, which they could easily just, stick a piece of plastic on his face and have it look better than just animating it. So the CG is awful. It's like, I don't know what they were thinking with this, because it looks bad. It looks cartoonish, and none of it even looks close to being convincing or real. It's just awful. The visuals, the thing about Zack Snyder, who directed this, everybody always says like, oh, he's like a style or substance guy. His movies are always very visually arresting, but his movies are always lacking in narrative or character development. And with this movie, it's like all of the above. The movie is ugly. Like, it's an ugly movie. It looks bad. And not just the CG, but just everything about it looks awful. And the narrative is also very poorly constructed. It's just, I'd say 50% of the movie is origin story. Because, at the beginning, there's this kind of action sequence with Batman, and then he's putting together the team. He's assembling the team. So a large chunk of the movie is him just kind of rounding up Aquaman and Flash, and then they try to resurrect Superman. And it's just bad. It's just poor storytelling. None of it really works, which is unfortunate because on the performance side of things, the actors that play all the respective characters, I think that they're good choices. I like that the guy that they got for the Flash, Ezra Miller. I when they first announced his casting, I was like, oh, that's kind of an interesting choice. We need to talk about Kevin being the Flash. I kind of like that. Jason Momoa as Aquaman. Aquaman, one of the most made fun of the superheroes, I would say, and Jason Momoa basically turned him into a badass. So I liked all the casting. Of course, Gal Gadot returning as Wonder Woman. All the casting was solid. And I like Ben Affleck as Batman in this too. But unfortunately, all of these really solid actors, they just have nothing to work with at all. And the action sequences are lazy and incredibly generic. Like, I don't even remember any of them specifically. They're so bland and generic. It's just, it's bad. It's just very, very bad.
It looks, it's just gauging from, again, I'm just going off a trailer here, but it looks ugly as all hell. It looks like it's just loaded with what they deem clever one-liners.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of like, but they don't feel natural. They feel really tacked on.
That's Hollywood blockbuster for you. And it just looks like it's no fun whatsoever.
Oh no, it's not fun. It is not fun. Like Ezra Miller, like the Flash, they made that character kind of the fun one, and to a lesser extent, they made Aquaman the fun one. Like basically every line out of Jason Momoa's mouth is some sort of snarky comment or joke, and to give credit where it's due, most of those jokes are humorous and they do land. Same with all of Ezra Miller's lines as Barry Allen. Like those two guys are definitely the comic relief. Unfortunately, they are in it far less than anyone else.
Yeah.
They definitely take a back seat. So they're kind of just in there to bring the comedic relief. And the villain is lame and looks horrible. And then you have these like armies of these insect alien creatures that just look so generic and dumb. And then like behind that, you have the whole Rotten Tomatoes thing. I don't know if you heard about that whole controversy over them holding back the score and revealing the score on their stupid See It, Skip It show.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is not great. But at any rate, Justice League is a big it's awful. It's just it's a bad movie. It's a bad time. Don't go see it.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, it's pretty crap. That's really all I got this week. So we can move on.
What do we got coming out?
So normally there's some big releases on Thanksgiving. Not this year. This year, I guess they're just taking a break. Hollywood's just like, you know what? We're not doing Thanksgiving this year. Next year we'll do it, maybe.
I guess maybe it just didn't work out last year, so they just decided, nah, this year let's not do it.
I guess. There is one big one. That's the new Disney Pixar film Coco.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Not interested in this one, but I'll probably see it at some point. You know, that's the funny thing about a lot of the Disney Pixar stuff. When they come out, I'm just not interested, and then I see it and usually like it. It's probably going to be the same thing with Coco.
I can see it happening.
We have The Man Who Invented Christmas. That's the I think it's a Charles Dickens biopic.
Okay.
We have Darkest Hour. It's the one with Gary Oldman.
Mm-hmm.
Like Churchill, I think.
Ooh.
We have Call Me By Your Name. That one's getting a lot of buzz around that one.
Yeah, so much so that I thought this movie already came out.
Yeah, so did I, actually.
Definitely.
We have a movie called The Current War. I don't know. Sounds like a documentary about electricity to me, but I'm not sure. We have Bombshell, the Hedy Lamarr story.
Okay.
Documentary about Hedy Lamarr, the famous actress who was also a genius, and she was like a genius mathematician who she like worked with the U.S. government during the war.
Mm.
She was like an inventor. She was like a genius inventor.
I don't know. Is she? I could be wrong. I could be mistaken. But is she the one that developed like a sonar type system?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like a communication system.
Yeah.
That the Allies used during the war. Really interesting. I saw this at Tribeca earlier this year.
Okay.
But I would recommend checking that out because it's a really interesting sort of tragic story about what happened to her. Eric Clapton, A Life in 12 Bars. I'm assuming that's a documentary about Eric Clapton.
Probably.
I mean, just judging by the title. I kind of hope it's not, but...
That would be pretty great, actually, if it wasn't.
Cuba and the Cameraman. I'm guessing that's a documentary about Cuba.
It's nothing but biopics and
yeah. I mean, everything that I've listed so far, except for Call Me By Your Name and Coco. This week on VOD, let's see what we have here. On the 21st, we have Blood Harvest, Above Ground Level, Dub Fire. It's about some sort of dubstep DJ, maybe.
Okay.
One of the world's most successful DJs.
I wonder if that's the one I got a voicemail about.
Dubfire. Maybe he did. We have After Love, Active Adults, Crooked House, and that's it. As far as VOD, that's all we got. Blu-ray this week. Got a couple things here. Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets. We got Good Time. I recommend that. The Hitman's Bodyguard. We got The Villainous. That one's worth a look, too. Donnie Darko's getting its 287th Blu-ray release. That's one of those movies, man. You should see that on that list. Like, they just keep re-releasing that fucker over and over again.
Pretty much every year. It's
like the college crowd. It's like the college kids. They love their Donnie Darko.
Gotta get a new one.
They gotta keep re-releasing Donnie Darko and Boondock Saints and
freshman class.
Just keep churning them out. All right, let's see what else we have here. Beach Rats.
Fine.
Yeah, I'm interested in that one. Jungle, starring Daniel Radcliffe. That one came and went real fast.
Mm-hmm.
Teenage Slumber Party Nightmare.
Yeah.
That's from 2014. Looks like one of those kind of throwback movies. Housebound from 2014. I'd recommend that one. Did you see that one?
Mm-hmm.
The New Zealand one?
Mm-hmm. That was pretty great. I enjoyed that. That was a fun one.
Yeah, I remember talking about it on the show, but I didn't know if we did like a full review.
I think we did.
I think you're right. American Mary from 2012 is getting a Blu-ray release. I'd recommend that one as well. That one was interesting. California Typewriter. That's a documentary about the California typewriter.
Oh, God.
Because it's not just a documentary about typewriters. You know, that would be one thing.
Different.
But the California typewriter, that needs its own specific document. It's like that documentary Helvetica, you know.
Yes. When are we going to get documentaries on the other ones?
I would love a Comic Sans documentary.
You would think at this point in time.
I think you could.
I think you have enough.
I
got plenty of material.
Oh, yeah.
For Comic Sans. Easy.
Yep. That's pretty much it. What do we have on the Criterion front this week?
Oh, we have one, and that's Terry Gilliam's Jabberwocky from 1977. Getting the old Blu-ray Criterion treatment.
Great cover. Holy crap. Love that cover.
Love it. Loving that cover.
All right. I think that's going to do it for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can send us your questions and topics to podcast@filmpulse.net. You can follow us on Twitter @FilmPulseNet and @FilmPulseKevin. If you have a minute, take a look at our Patreon page, patreon.com/FilmPulse. Consider helping us out by becoming a subscriber. For Kevin Rakestraw, my name's Adam Patterson. We'll see you next week.